Chael Sonnen's on the line. Let's light him up, Johnny Ramos. Chael Sonnen on the Progressive Insurance Celebrity Hotline. Chael, are you there, my friend?
Hey, what's happening, Jay?
Chael Sonnen, I didn't even know that you failed the drug test in July, UFC 175, and I'm very honored that you wanted to get ahead of this by coming on Jay Mohr Sports. What drug, because ESPN's going to run with this, and everyone's going to think that you're like whacked out on steroids. Why don't you set the record straight right now, sir?
Well, you know what? They changed the ruling in Nevada. Earlier this year, they did away with what's known as TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and I was on that. So when they changed the rule, we all had to go through a transition phase. For me, for the transition, you have to take a couple of things. One is called clomiphene, another one is called HCG. So this is what we did. I took my oars out of the water in the meantime, meaning I didn't fight. I didn't ask for a license. You had to wait and cross this bridge, if you will. In the interim, they did a test. I tested positive for these things, which I should have. I took them. They were in my system. That wasn't a surprise. These aren't anabolics. These aren't steroids. These aren't performance enhancers. None of that stuff. But they have deemed that they're banned substances. And now, what's interesting in my case is we're out of competition. These are not things that I showed up with on game day. This is out of competition due to a rule that they changed. So I kind of felt this is a kind of an odd spot for me, but that's what's happened. That's what they've done. And
so, Chael, hold on.
That's what.
Let's make sense of this. And you know, I'm your friend, and I'm on your side in all this. But I want to ask follow-up questions so people can be educated on this. You were not fighting when you tested positive for this thing that the Nevada Athletic Commission decided was no longer legal. You took yourself out of the octagon to get it out of your system. So then why did you hand in a drug test when you were not fighting?
Well, what happens is they do out-of-competition testing. And the lab that they went to is the USADA lab. Now, USADA is the greatest lab in the world. It's a very sensitive test. We had done our own tests at our own labs, and we thought everything was out of the system. Now, these were not secrets that I took these substances. This is just what you have to take if you're coming off testosterone. But at any rate, it was picked up on their test. Now, they can handle that however they want. They can look at it and go, yeah, this makes sense to us. Or they can say, you know what, we don't like this. And they can do either one. They're the commission. I've just got to be a reactor and live with it. The confusing part is that for a non-anabolic, non-steroid, non-performance enhancing agent that is perfectly legal and that I need for a healthy life, essentially they're saying, look, you've got to choose between health and sport. It's very tough for me, too, because I was very upfront about this. Done a number of interviews talking about what I've done, whether it's on UFC Tonight, I've done one in Canada, done one in the UK, done one in Brazil. I couldn't have told any more people. So when this came back, they said, hey, why did this come in your system? I said, why did it come in my system? Because I took it. I've been taking it, and I had to take it because you guys changed the rule. So, I did feel a little bit frustrated in that regard, and they may listen to me. They may agree with me. But the way this works, Jay, is I now have to go to a hearing. That hearing gets kicked down the road who knows how many days. I have a fight in 30 days. There's no way the hearing will be before then. And
well, right now, you should get blasted on steroids right now. If you already tested positive and you got a fight in 30 days, now you got to load up on that DECA cycle, man. Old school.
We're not looking to do anything underhanded here, but there is a little bit of a confusion on the rules. It's kind of tough where you're going, oh, really? This is a banned substance. Well, where do we find that? Who exactly do we go to for clarity on this? And the commission has always been very clear, whether it's the Nevada Commission, who's now, there's a new guy at the helm. But the old executive director, and I've got quotes I've downloaded right off the internet, but he's been very clear that there is clear distinctions between game day and out-of-competition testing. Now, you can never take an anabolic or anything like that. I understand all of these things, as do you and the listeners. This is not an anabolic. This is not a steroid. These are just the substances I had to go to transition. Who's also having, this is a very private part of my life I wasn't planning to share with anybody, but I'm having fertility issues.
Chael, I got to cut you off. I take testosterone because I have fertility issues as well. I take testosterone every day. I would not be allowed to fight in the UFC.
Yeah, no, not now. You would have, but no, you're right. There is a new rule, and you would not in Nevada. And I support the rules. I'm not, we're not really complaining here as much as this is a little bit of a confusion.
Essentially, you were told that something was illegal. You said, okay, that's illegal. Let me get off of it. I know how to get it out of my system using this other item. You told the commission that you were taking this. You remove yourself from fighting entirely while this stuff gets out of your system. You have a non-fight drug test that turns up positive. That's the story. You were completely upfront about it. You wanted to break it on Jay Mohr Sports. So for all the hysterics out there, when this comes up on ESPN, they know that Chael Sonnen was completely upfront about it, and I really appreciate your time, and you've always been a man of your word. So I got no reason to doubt you, my brother, and I really appreciate your time.
I got to tell you, I'm starting to feel a little rushed here. I feel like, what, you got a commercial break? I feel like you're getting rid of old Chael.
I squeezed you in at the last second because I thought it was important. I had an entire show up and running, and they said, we need Chael Sonnen to come on. I said, hell, I'll stop my show to make room for Chael Sonnen. Have fun.
All right, buddy. Well, if I only have one more word, then I would like to get it in.
Okay.
Kaboom.
There you go.